Hello, Rishi ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
मीटिंग तो 1 बजे की थी ना?
Yes, ma'am.
अभी टाइम है फिर?
Ma'am, actually we are waiting for resource person, ma'am. He is joining. He is joining.
अच्छा, yes.
He is joining. He is with us. No.
Okay, okay.
Very good afternoon to all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are very well audible. Good afternoon, sir.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
good
you are.
afternoon, sir.
You are audible, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, fine, Sadia. I hope most of participants are here with us. So let's
Shall we begin,
start.
ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. A very warm good afternoon to our chief guest, Mr. B. Girirajan, Principal Ma'am Professor Lalima Singh, members of IIC, teachers, and other participants. I, Sadia Siddiqui, student representative of Institution Innovation Council, SS Khanna Girls Degree College, takes a proud privilege in welcoming you all in this workshop by Mr. B. Girirajan on the topic Prototype, Process Design and Developing Prototyping, organized by Institution's Innovation Council. I would like to introduce you to our chief guest and speaker of the day, Mr. B. Girirajan, Director, Collaboratory for Social Innovation, School of Engineering, SR University. Sir has total 20 years of experience. He has also worked in Sri Manakula Vinayagar Engineering College, Pondicherry, and Dr. MGR Polytechnic, Arni. Sir has also published many book chapters, patents, and articles. Some of them are book series lectures, notes in electrical engineering, titled Comparative Study in Soft Computing Based High Resolution Satellite Image Segmentation in Additive and User Oriented Color Space. IoT conference series, Material Science, titled High Speed and Low Power Error Recovery, Approximate Multiplier for Image Processing Applications, and few others. Sir has also received various awards and certifications, administrative positions, committee appointments, and membership. Sir, we are delighted to have you with us. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Anuradha Singh Ma'am, Convener, Institution's Innovation Council, SS Khanna Girls Degree College, to accord a warm welcome to our esteemed guest.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Sadia. Thank you, Sadia. A very warm good afternoon to all of you. I, Dr. Anuradha Singh, extend my cordial welcome on behalf of SS Khanna Girls Degree College, fraternity, and the Institute Innovation Council of SS Khanna Girls Degree College, established under the guidelines of Ministry Innovation Cell, Ministry of Education, Government of India. Sadia has already introduced our speaker, but I would like to add more. Mr. B. Girirajan has over 20 years of experience in the tech world, and his sincere contribution to the education system has inspired students to be more innovative and enthusiastic in taking on a startup project. His efforts to provide technology to NGOs and the community are highly commendable for mankind. It is privilege for us, sir, to have you with us today. I welcome you. I also extend my cordial welcome to respected Principal Professor Lalima Singh, Vice Principal Dr. Meenu Agarwal, IQAC Coordinator and Vice President of IIC, Dr. Manjari Shukla, all faculty members and students who are present here to attend this session. The theme of session will focus on startup, and the topic of the session is prototype process design and development prototyping for the students and faculty. I wish this session enlighten us in all possible way. Now we request the sir to deliver his lecture. We would be delighted with your expertise and knowledge in every possible way. Very welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Before this, I would like to invite Dr. Nishi Seth, ma'am, Internship Coordinator, Institutions Innovation Council, SS Khanna Girls Degree College, for theme presentation.
Thank you, Sadia. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Good afternoon, everyone. I, Dr. Nishi Seth. I'm here to present the theme of today's workshop on the topic prototype process designing and development prototyping. As we all know, an effective product development cannot be exist without prototyping. There is always an element of prototyping involved in any design undertaking. Prototypes can take many forms depending on the context, but in general, we define a prototype as any preliminary model or representation of a concept. It can take on many different forms. Prototyping is an inevitable part of product designing and development. So without taking much time of your, I would like to invite our today's expert, Mr. B. Girirajan, who will enlighten us more on the topic. We all are eagerly waiting to listen to you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is to all the participants. In between the session, if you have any query, you can write down your question in the chat box. We'll take your query at the end of the session. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. B. Girirajan.
Yeah, good afternoon to all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes,
Okay.
sir, you're audible.
Respected principal of the institution, SS Khanna Girls Degree College, Allahabad, affiliated college, the organizers of IICs and various members of IIC. I'd like to congratulate to have a good work over this Ministry of Education that your institution have taken a long way to achieve the vision of MOE. So I have seen the profile of the institution and I was very happy to see all the activities going on. And also I'd like to extend my thankfulness for inviting and for the presentation today. Let me share the screen. Hope the screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yeah. And I'd like to introduce about myself as other speakers have given a brief note, and I'm the Director for Collaborative for Social Innovation at SR University. We have a model of Purdue University, USA, and Dr. William Oakes is our mentor. I would like to share it in the first slide itself so that we are gratefulness to him to have a very good model in our institution to go in a good way for various accreditations and affiliations through this center. So Dr. William Oakes is founder of the center, and he's organizer of EPICS Engineering Project in Community Service, which was helpful for us to establish the same version in our institution. And we used to have a model like for a university. And here, with this brief note, I'd like to share the PPTs towards this prototyping. So we have design thinking concepts taken from the Purdue University, and we are following the same thing. And it was very impressive that each and every stage in the design thinking and prototyping was detailedly given, so that we'll be having a clarity over all the parts of the design process, prototype design process, and product development. So you can see in the slide, there is a project identification. It's a circle. It is shown as a circle that project identification, specification development, and it goes through delivery, service maintenance. Again, it reaches the redesign part and comes out. The circle is having the end over the service maintenance, and it comes out for redesigning. And if it is necessary, we can have a redesigning part. So as the earlier speaker mentioned that the importance of the prototype, the project identification is very, very early stage and important stage for prototype development. Let us discuss the stages of prototype development one by one. Project identification is it's different. It is vast thinking, you can tell. Project identification. It can be the experience of the designer. It can be based on the importance, and it can be based on the demand, market demand. We can get into the project identification. That means the problem statement should be identified. The problem should be identified, and based on that problem identified, we are going to design the product. So the project identification is the first step into the prototype development, and it will be helpful for entrepreneurship and startup. So let us move into various stages, how the project identification can be done. In our perspective, most of the projects comes out related to community or the society. As usual, when you go with the product design, or when you take the capstone project of the UG degree students, they take some internet based projects or repeated projects, or some projects there which is available in the project centers, and they do some circuits, and they assemble some components, and they show for they present in the capstone presentation, and they get marks. And after completing the project viva, the project will be kept in the laboratories or somewhere else where it cannot be used, or it cannot be used if it cannot be used in the by the user, or that cannot be market. It cannot be market sent into the market. So most of the projects done in the colleges by the students are not useful to the society or to the market or anywhere else. Most of the projects, but there are many institutions which take steps to convert all the projects into an innovative way that can be patented, or it can be useful to the user in many ways. So major thing is problem identification that should be very helpful to the society, community, or to the industries or the users. It can be human assistive services directly. So in many ways, the project can be converted into the usable way in terms of product or marketable things like that. So I would like to convey that take the project, identify the problems, and the problems identified should be directly mapping with the user's requirement. That is the first thing we have to make it out. So in the slide, you can see here, you can see many communities. So there are farmers, paddy farmers cultivating paddy, farmers cultivating cotton. In the left side top, there are school children. Bottom, you can see the roadside people, the blacksmiths and handicraft, metal craft people, people involved in metal crafting, the statues and ideals and other ornaments. And in the middle, you can see cottage industries and the women involved in the construction. Right side, you can see the old age people and physically challenged people at the bottom. So these are all various communities we can identify in and around our institution itself. So there are many things in and around our institution or nearby. So when we identify these community people, we can get a lot of problems from them. When we go for the survey, we can identify many problems, very small problems, which can be solved by the college students. So this is what we encourage the students. So you can see the students going to the community directly involving. We have a special permission for them to interact with the people and identify the problems. So we take this as team formation, maximum 5 members per team. There are various roles for each team member: team leader, project manager, webmaster, project liaison, and there could be both boys and girls involved in this, and there could be interdisciplinary team, that is various department. The discipline is not a restriction here. Every team could be having various discipline. So what is ethnographic survey? How to start? The ethnographic survey or ethnographic study helps the teams to identify the problem in a genuine way. It cannot be a randomly that you are taking some project and doing it. So we can have ethnographic survey in a proper way. And here are some of the slides. How can we make ethnographic study? When we have the team formation in a proper way, which could be a multidisciplinary team, so that they can have their own experience and have their experience to gather the information as well as to develop the product that could be useful. So we take the multidisciplinary. So that is encouraged always. So how to take the ethnographic survey, conduct the ethnographic survey? We can visit, we can observe, we can interact, we can have the experience, we can refer the documents, we can have some reflections. All these are included in the collect. After collecting the data, you can ask questions and have some interview, and you can have some data, their social hierarchy and how they are having their lifestyle. Everything can be taken as a part, as an initial introduction level, and we can have very good interaction with the people and take the key points from the user or the community or the society or the specific people whom you are targeting. There are multiple communities. You select one community and have the interaction over them. And in that selected community, there are various varieties of people are there. That could be a large farmers, a small scale farmers, like that. You can have different peoples within the same community. So select appropriate community, and then you can have an interview, and we can observe the problems they are mentioning during the interview, and a fine report can be made based on the interaction on the interview. So this could be one of the part for problem identification. So the ethnographic survey includes, the survey generally includes the demographic data of the person whom you're interviewing, like age, gender, occupation, and interest, and geographic data like workspace details, event sequence, and work scenes, and ethnographic data like social behavior, culture, tools used for their events, That means how they are surveying with the selected job they are having. They are having modern tools or old tools, or they're suffering with the old tools. From that, you can identify the requirement of the people. So interaction with multiple people using pre-planned questionnaire and record the content will be helpful for data collection. So team members are there, means one can be recording, one can be asking the questions, one can be observing, and one can be arranging. Some of them can be public relations, taking the steps to reach the people. So likewise, you can have a team formation and get the place reached, and interaction can be done. So these are some of the community as mentioned earlier. So when the community is separate and gather in one place for multiple place, you can call that as a society. So that is a basic difference between community and the society. So you can see here the reservation center, railway reservation center, that could be a society where multiple communities can be there. Railway stations, bus stations, market, though those could be a society, you can call that as a society. Whereas a particular lifestyle and cultivating particular crop or stick into one particular job occupation, that could be the community. So there are many opportunities to identify the problem, and it is not that we can search the problems from the internet and take some random titles and do the project. Students need not do the projects directly. So spend some time. We can have a very good experience when we go out of the box and reach the people, interact with them. We will be getting very good experience that there are a lot of problems which can be easily solved by the students with a small effort. So students can be having a camera, audio recorder, notepad, documents. There are many styles depending upon the student's smartness and their utilities. They can have the record. What they can identify. So based on the interaction, simply interacting with them, that will be very vague, and make it very focused towards your agenda. That is, identify the opportunities after interaction. Can have the project opportunities, problems, needs, and the challenges. So with this content, you can have the mapping of the data with your requirement and do some bench work to take this interaction or ethnographic survey towards the project identification and title it. So recollect and fill the gap. So there may be some interactions, some data can be missing. All those things can be done with the mind mapping, and if there is any gap with the team interaction, we can fill the gap. And you have it is based on our style that what we are making it. So I used to tell that you can go and you can do like that. That means this is the way that I can suggest you. It depends upon your interest. You can take the industrial project, you can take your own experience, you can select the project, or you can select this style to take the project. And as of now, I have told about the community, and you can select one community, and you can select one person in the community, and you can have a continuous interaction from the project opportunity identified to the end of the product design. Up to that stage, you can have a continuous contact with one particular user of one particular community. That is the best way to have the user interaction. So for his detail, you can have a persona creation. Persona creation means the details of one person in one page, or two pages maximum. So you can have all the details within 1 or 2 pages about the user. That is a persona creation. Most of the students are aware of this persona creation. If it is not that, you can have a paid version of this software to create this persona, or there is a free version for 15 days, or trial version is there for 15 to 20 days to create this, and you can use it for persona creation. So you can have a mind mapping and flow chart. All those activities, all those data can be put into one file. So the persona creation is about the user. Mind mapping and the content can be done with the requirement of the user and your project, the way you are taking the project. So this is how we can have the initial work. So project identification can be mentioned from the ethnographic survey, persona creation, problem identification and need statement, and then mind mapping of all the details. So with this, the first stage of the project identification is completed in the circle shown in the first slide. So this is a sample persona creation you can have. You can see the photo of the user, can have the graduations, educational details, what is his ambition, what is his occupation and other area of interest. Everything can be taken into one page. That is a persona creation of the user. So if you take a farmer, or if you take a shopkeeper, or if you take any community partner, like all those examples that I told, you select one user and create one persona like this. So this will be helpful for understanding of the user and his activities. So it is extended along with the pictorial representation of about the user. So you can see here he is very interested in having the latest technologies, utilizing the latest technologies like all the latest version of the mobiles and transportation, everything. So this has the detailed information about the user. So to conduct this survey, the team members may be assigned with some of the roles, like as I told, interview can be done by one person, and documentation can be done by one person, reporting can be done by one person. So it is a teamwork, and all the team members should be present together for all the activities. Only the thing is they have their own responsibilities, but every activity should be done together in the presence of all the team members, so that all the individual members knows what is happening in the team, and we can have a summarized report of the ethnographic study like this. So here the format is given. When we fill this form, it will be coming into 4 to 5 pages. So what is the area you have identified after the ethnographic survey? You have selected agriculture, environment, human service, women empowerment, children, child education, old age, or what are the things you have done? What are the projects area you have selected? Next is the places visited. You visited based on your community that you have identified. You visited farm if it is agriculture, and old age home if it is elders, school children if it is schools, if it is a school children that you have selected as a community. Then go with the data gathered. You fill this system mapping. System mapping is workspace, tools used, and other details. So select one community partner. As I told, you can be selecting the user. Some cases you may not be having sufficient data. Either the institution can take the steps to have the collaboration with NGOs or the government agencies, or the students can be taking the steps to have the collaboration with the NGOs. The NGOs are always happy to meet the college students for volunteering, and if there is any solution provided by them, they are always satisfied with the work with the college students. So they'll be always welcoming you for having the collaboration. So in our institution, we have collaboration with NGOs. Along with the help of the NGOs, we may be directly reaching the user, or through NGOs we may be reaching the users or the community partners. And the NGOs are very good connecting organizations, so that the people will be interacting with the NGOs for their problems, and they have more experience about the community partners. So when we contact the NGOs, they'll be giving us more project opportunities. And even the project opportunities can be, the NGO executives can be invited for the project opportunities, so that the students can be easily taking one or two projects from the sessions given by the NGOs and the executives. So with this, you can have the report of ethnographic survey, and after that you can have a very specific project. The project opportunity which is identified by the team can be mentioned, and you can mention the problems of the user and what you are going to give the solution to that particular problem, and what are the challenges. So these are all some of the content. One such problems, one of the problem statement identified by one of the student team is to build a smart helping booth that acts as a tele healthcare medium, addressing several health issues at early prediction. and providing services to eradicate severe problems like malnutrition in addition. So when the students went to the village, the village does not have sufficient hospital facilities. There is no doctor, and if they want to have some medication, they need to move to the nearby towns and other hospital facilities. So if we take the village, these problems, this kind of problems will be there. So one such problem identified is there is no proper medication or hospitals in the village. So this is one of the problem statement identified by the student, and they developed one product called Smart Booth, which helps the students, which helps the village people to automatically identify the vacancies in the nearby hospitals, to connect to the specialist of the hospitals, and to have some early prediction to connect to the hospitals. So the booth will not be giving any solutions to the people in terms of health, but it assists the people to connect to the hospital. So it is like a unmanned booth where the people can interact and they can have some help to connect to the hospitals. So it is done by Python programming, AI and ML are used in this smart booth. So it is not that engineering alone can be helpful, or it is the only solution to find out the solution for all the problems. Any students team who is interested to design the product, they can come forward to design the product. Nowadays, the mobile handling by the people, youngsters are very much, it's increasing. So app development is very interesting, web development is very interesting, and many students, though engineering and non-engineering, even school children are coming up to develop the app and websites. So it is not that only the engineering students will be doing this kind of things. Many non-engineering students can have a product design with the basics of some of the hardwares that I'll be telling. With that, it is easy to learn and implement. It is not requiring much mathematical knowledge or engineering knowledge to design the product. So the interest will be motivating them to develop all this product. So this is one of the product developed by the students, and this was mentored by me, and which gave me the award of best project for the community outreach through projects. So the students used to go for a survey. Here are some of the slides where the students are interacting with the people and identifying the problems. So a typical report is shown here, how the students are interacting with the community people, and some of the documents or details are shown here. These statements are explained by the farmers. So like this, many communities and their reports are there. One sample is that the farmers have reported here. They are not aware of sufficient soil quality, selection of the crops, fertilizers. They are not having modern equipments. Even if there are modern equipments, it is not affordable for them to purchase. The people are 2 acres to 3 acres, low-level farmers are there. So they cannot buy all the equipments, which is modernized one. At the same time, they cannot go for labor payment. So that is also too cost. Shortage of labor is another problem, and labor charging is also another problem for the low-level farmers. They are called as dry land farmers. So these are some of the problems reported by asked by the farmers, and they are documented by the students. So we can have two statements. One is problem statement, another one is the need statement based on the ethnographic survey. What are the problem statements? Means insufficient farming equipments, costly farming equipments for plowing, sowing the seed, and applying the nutrition. If they are applying the manure, the nutrition, it's hazardous to the people, and they affected. The skins are affected with some due to application of some pesticides. All those things are some of the problems, and labor problem is a major problem for weed removal, seed sowing, plowing, everything. They have the labor issues. So the bottom is the problem statement, and you can see the need statement. The problem statement is the pain of the farmers. Need statement is the solution. What is the student? What are the equipments design or the product design that the students are planning to do? Here, insufficient and costly farming equipment is a problem. For that, design and development of suitable multi-purpose equipment for plowing, sowing the seed, applying the nutrition or manure that is used for farming to cultivate semi-wet crops like maize, pulses, and soya beans. So it is very specific to these crops. Likewise, we can have many crops and related equipments can be designed. So as of now, the part covered in the product design is the project identification or the problem identification. So with this problem identification, if there is any doubt, you can ask in the chat window so that could be answered at the end of the session. So first step is the project identification, and so the next step can be how we are going to design the product. This is called as the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart will be helpful. Mostly, the Gantt chart is very popular among the academic experts. They use this. Here is a sample Gantt chart how the product can be designed. So without the plan, it is not going to be successful for any activities. So you can have a plan for completing the product in terms of weeks or in terms of days or months as per the project level you are selecting. So here it is a weeks in duration in weeks. Design architecture within 1 or 2 weeks we can complete. After completion of the ethnographic survey, budget proposal. The budget proposal includes machineries and equipments to be used for the product design. Then a prototype design, and after that, the failure mode analysis. The failure mode analysis can be taken anywhere from the initial stage, middle stage, and after the completion of the prototype, the failure mode analysis can be done. And the product is designed, or the prototype is designed, or the model is designed. Every time the user interaction should be there for any suggestions, and the user is a major. It's important to have a user interaction so that if there is any problem with the or any shortfall with the product design, it can be solved initially. At the end of the stage, if all the fabrication is done and the user is not satisfied, that gives a huge loss and waste of the time. So it is suggested that before problem identification, user interaction should be there. And after having a paper model or low fidelity prototyping, well, this is a low fidelity prototype, which is not giving the solution, but it gives an idea about the problem identified. So that is a low fidelity prototype. It can be a diagram, it can be a paper model, chartboard sheet, and other small level models, which describes the problem, which describes your solution, how it could be, and everything. It gives the detail. So after that, you can have the interaction. Then detailed design can be done. After the user interaction done, the detailed design can be started. And the detailed design is related upon the concept generation. The concept generation is about, as I told, you can have a paper model or any prototypes developed with 3D printing. Many things are there for having a paper model. Low fidelity prototypes fabrication. But getting into this prototype, low fidelity prototype, will again be a failure directly if you're going into the low fidelity prototype. before having this, we can have the concept generation. That means if you have identified the problem and you are going to design one farming equipment, for example, a pesticide sprayer is one farming equipment. Many pesticide sprayers are available. Many market products are available. Many online shopping equipments market available. E-commerce websites are there which provides this kind of equipments. So before getting into the low fidelity prototype, it is better to analyze all this prior art search. It's called as a prior art search and existing solution. So Google patent, you can directly type Google patent and type the name. You'll be getting number of equipments. The problem is the equipments available are not suitable to the specified community locally. The machinery equipments developed by Indonesia, Korea, or Philippines, or some other countries may not be suitable for our community. So we have restriction over these things. So according to our community, we can modify and we can develop the equipments, develop the product. So that will be helpful for the user and customized to our community. So like this, you can search in the Google patent. That will be giving prior art search and existing solutions. Similarly, when we get into online shopping and e-commerce website like Amazon, Flipkart, many things are there. We have solutions, equipments available for the same problem that you have identified. As well as reputed journals are there. Journals may be the theoretical one. The possibilities can be there. Some ideas can be taken from the journals, and it is also a good way to select the ideas. And another possibility is get the thorough idea about the equipments that is available in the market. If it is available in the market, understand the working style of this available product in the market, and then you can compare with your own design. So all this concept generation, the prior art search is helpful to differentiate your design with the existing solution. This is the concept generation. So after this concept generation, we can have mind mapping. That means what are the, as explained in the Gantt chart, you have a budget proposal, you have a prototype design, you have a user interaction, you have many small activities to design the product. So if you are designing the product, if you are not having proper planning and proper activities chart or something which is done stage by stage, if you're not having proper design, it is very difficult in which stage you are and what is the roadmap, how will you reach the end point, how will you complete the product design. So there are many mind mapping tools which will be helpful for you to include all the contents that you are having in the product design. So these are some of the mind mapping tools. You can use it. It's free versions are available. When you have any activity which includes number of sub modules into that activities, you can use mind mapping tools to complete this entire product design. Even this mind mapping can be done with the Android version, Android mobile also. So let's get into the concept generation. As I told, you have done the prior art search and you have your idea of the product design, and you have drawn the diagram. You have done the prototype, low fidelity prototype, paper model or chartboard or 3D printing or any model which is not going to be working one, but it gives a complete idea about how the design could be, what is the shape of that, and how the design dimensions could be. Everything can be done with the help of the low fidelity prototype. So here, the concept generation, when you draw the diagram should be having complete detail of the product, how it could be coming up. So when you see this diagram, this is the right side. You have one a product that is a product that is going to be designed, and for designing that product we need a dimension. So left side you can have you can see the details of the dimensions of the product designed. So every if there is rectangle shape or square shape or spiral, so every shape, there are many shapes, and each and every part should be having dimension. So you have a clarity over where it can be fixed, how it can be operating, whether it would be operating within the box, within the section, it will be excess dimension. Will be fixed time. So as far as possible, make all the dimensions very clearly so that you get complete idea of how your product looks. So you should imagine and you should have the picture coming into the reality and discuss with the team members. Then all the team members should be involving with this activity, should be involved in this activity, and it should be a common thing for the team members. Now, the concept generation can be done if the team members are 5 in size. Each student or each team member can be designing one concept for the same solution. So if there are five team members who are trying to solve one problem based on the user interaction, all the 5 team members should be coming up with one problem. So for one problem, there are 5 solutions in a team. After that, based on the students' interaction, we can select one best solution, which is satisfying the best solution among the 5 members. So for this one concept is called this matrix is there, bugs matrix. So when we put some parameters in that bugs matrix and keep all the solutions, 5 members and 5 solutions are kept into that bugs matrix. And in one part we can have parameters like cost of the design, materials used, span or comfortability, easy to transport or portability. Then we can have some parameters in left side and give some marks for each solution, and which product is having highest mark, that can be the best solution. So 5 team members can give one, each team member can give one for one problem, and one solution can be selected from the 5. So now you got a clear idea about which product you are going to design. Team members 1, 2, or 3, whose solution is, or even some small changes can be done. By nth team with adding some one or two parts in the matrix. So it depends upon the team's interest. The conclusion for the concept generation is team members should have one solution. One team member should have one solution. So there may be 4 or 5 solutions, and select the best solution with the help of matrix. Here, the concept generation is there, and you are selecting one particular solution, and you are starting to do your one product design, and the institution maybe giving the facilities for the teams for the product. There could be a 3D printing. There could be the laboratory facilities. It is timeless effort. There should be restricted time, working time, even the conventional time. If there are students asking for the project, there can be some permissions given by the lab and they can do the work beyond the academic schedule. So the product design in the institutions, the students are suffering with the academic schedule generally. Apart from the academic schedule only, they have to go with the product design. Some courses have examinations. They have they study. They can so only class are for that. But the students are really interested to do the product. We cannot put it table and do the work.
I think there is some network issue.
Yes, sir is disconnected now. He needs join. Okay, sir is here.
Sir, you're not audible.
Yeah, I'm getting into the slides now. Back into the slide.
Okay.
Yeah. So some of the product, the laboratory facilities should be provided to the students. Analyze about the student's strength and what area they are, what are the discipline they are studying. Based on their interest, we can go get into the technical parts, or case studies can be done related to non-engineering students. Case studies can be done, surveys can be done, market analysis can be done. So these preliminary works can be initiated for non-engineering students. And if the students are really good in designing the product, they can go with the basic components, basic programming boards are there. With the help of that, they can program and design the product. One such board is called Arduino board, Raspberry Pi board, and many IoT based boards are there. These boards are very common thing to use. In UK and US, the school students are using it for doing the projects, interesting project or hobby projects. So if it is the case that the school children are doing, why can't the college students can do the product design, go for the product design? It is not dependent upon the technology, it is dependent upon the interest. We can have some basic things. It is not that they are getting into very deep into engineering and other concepts, technology. We can have some basic board which gives a solution at preliminary level, and we can get help from the experts to complete the product. The application is very, very important. The way they are getting into the things done is very important. Can be done. So here we have a model. This is low fidelity prototype, which gives the understanding of the product. It includes Arduino board, it includes GPS and GSM module. It includes a display unit and a motor for activating some end using mechanism. So this gives understanding of some product. The example shown here is accident detection. It is using accelerometer. When particular angle is met, it is detected. The vehicle is said to be in this stage. So this could be connected to some of the vehicles, so we can have a tracing over the vehicle. The left side is the prototype, and the right side is a usable prototype. We cannot call this as a product because it is not having a completion. It is looking good to be used and it is a usable stage, but it is not a marketable level. So we have this as a product prototype here. Left side is low fidelity prototype, which gives all the details of the product. The same example I told, the smart tooth. It is having a hardware inside the box, and next stage we have a 3D printing and made some completion of the product. Everything is done by the student. We can have interaction with the user with the help of this product. So based on this interaction, we can improve the product. At the institution level, it is very difficult to convert the prototype into product, or to get into the market level product. It is very difficult. So we need to have a collaboration with the industries to have pilot product design or mass production. The prototype designed by the students should be set by the user. So the user will be having some opinion about the product. After giving some suggestions, after getting suggestions from the user, the improvement can be done with the prototype designed by the students. Then we can have 5 to 6 products or 10 products that can be tested with the various community people based on the one community or the user's feedback. So that is called as a pilot production. This pilot production can also be done with the industrial collaboration or with the support from the institution's funding, or we can approach funding from and go for the pilot production. Next, after the pilot production is getting into a successful way, it is not so easy, but still we can have the hope that we are having a good idea and we are good in designing and we are having experts, so that the pilot production is getting into the mass production level. So there is a gap between the academic level product design and the industry level product design. So this gap can be filled by the experts invited from the industries, or the collaboration made with the industries and funding done with by the industries, or at least the technology support taken from the industries. With this, we can get into the mass production. Everything is based on the students, that they are having a minimum viable product called MVP, and approach for startup entrepreneurship, and take this part into the mass production level. It is not only the students, the mentors themselves can be a part of this entrepreneurship. They can be a team, one of the team members, and initiate this work. So one of the product we taken into the technology transfer is shown here. It is a non-commercial product. We interacted with NGOs, namely Bala Vigasa, so for Bala Vigasa in the city. It's a very good organization. Well experts are there in the NGOs. It's well organized organization. They have different community, like agricultural team, school children, old age, women empowerment. They are having various activities. So one part we have taken, and to support NGOs, we got support from NGOs. This product is organic fertilizer mixture. Actually, it is done by manually. The organic fertilizers are semi-solid, and they have some seeds, waters, some oils, leaves. It's a mixed one, and it's done manually. And manual mixing of organic mixture is very, very difficult, and it requires a lot of force to mix it properly and apply it for the field. So our students designed organic fertilizer mixture, which is a motorized one, selecting particular motor, and there is a control of this organic fertilizer mixture, and it is transferred to NGOs. The NGOs use this organic fertilizer mixture, which is motorized one, and there are shortfalls. It is not a very good completion. There are some shortfalls in this product, and the strength of the stem is not sufficient, the blades are not sufficient, it is not rotating, or it is stuck. Sometimes or sometimes it is stuck. So these kind of shortfalls are there. But the idea was good, and later on it was improved, and the design was done. So similarly, every time we have interaction with the user at every stages, and the product design will be improved every time. So uh, this makes us to have a technology transfer, and 20 products are transferred to NGOs and users as of now, and 15 products are filed for patent and it's published, and one product is patent granted. We are waiting for that. So if we have time, we can extend this, or else we can close the session. Ma'am, still how long we can have a session? If there is any queries as of now, any participants can ask.
Sir, if you can please wind up this lecture within 10 minutes. And yes, we have some queries. But first
Yes.
you wind up, then we'll ask you.
I am waiting for the queries only. If the queries are not there, I can wait.
Okay. Ma'am, I have one question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So I want to ask you that which method of survey is more useful, like the ground survey or the one that we do internet survey that we have basically done during COVID times. No, we make a Google form and we circulate it. So which method of survey is more useful, more productive?
The more productive is depending upon the area you are identifying. For getting into the very low level users, like uneducated people are using some product, means for that we cannot go for the internet based survey. The real demand or real requirement of the user can be stated by the community people or the real users directly is a good way. If it is very industrial products, for most of the industrial products are used by educated people. For those kind of products, internet-based survey is good, and it saves the time, and it is very smart also.
Okay, I hope Sadia, your query is, resolved now.
Yes, ma'am. Of course.
Okay. Okay. One question arrived in my mind.
Yes,
Actually, my question is, sir, is the prototype model is costly? This question arrived in my mind just because people start their entrepreneurship on a low level. Is this necessary to go with this process, or we can skip it?
Earlier, when the startup was during initial stage, only the ideation was accepted during the startup pitch. Nowadays, the participants are very much eager and they are proactive, and the interest makes them to come up with the prototypes, and it is very popular now for the presentation in a startup pitch. MVP is mandatory now. That is made as mandatory. So the audience can also understand, and the product is reachable to the funding agencies. So MVP is mandatory now.
Thank you. Over to you, Sadia. Ask some participants if they have any query.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. Participants, if you have any query, you can ask your query. You can write your query in the chat box, or either you can raise your hand. If you have any query, sir is there, you can ask. I guess they all are very much contented with your lecture. So
So I will drop.
thank you.
I'll drop my mail ID. If there is any queries, they can ask.
Sir, one
That's so
request is there. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. If possible, please share your presentation with us. It will be helpful for our students if it is possible with you. Then
Okay.
only. Over to you, Sadia.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. So thank you so much, sir, for giving us very deep understanding of design thinking, explaining the role of students in solving community problems, project identification, and many important topics and concepts. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Shraddha Rai, ma'am, Activity Coordinator, Member, Institution Innovation Council, SS Khanna Girls Degree College, to extend a formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sadia. Afternoon greetings to everyone present here. It gives me immense pleasure to express my heartfelt gratitude on behalf of the Institution's Innovation Council, SS Khanna Girls Degree College, Prayagraj, established under the guideline of Innovation Cell, Ministry of Education, Government of India. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the resource person of this workshop, Mr. B. Girirajan, Director, Collaborative for Social Innovation, School of Engineering, SR University, Warangal. Thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time with us and enlightening us with your knowledge and experience on the theme. Thank you for such a lively and interactive session. I would like to thank our principal and president of IIT SSK, Professor Lalima Singh ma'am, for her able guidance and support. I also thank to Dr. Anuradha Singh, convener IIT SSK, and all the members of IIT SSK for their support. I extend my thanks to Dr. Nishi and Dr. Priyanka Gupta for their unwavering support and collaboration. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our student representative of IIT SSK, Sadia Siddiqui, for this beautiful answering. Thank you, all the participants, for your attention. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you very much. And with this, I would like to take your permission to end the session.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. And we're looking forward to make you the source person in other programs also. Hopefully, you will be agree with us.
Yeah. Sure, ma'am.
Thank you.
Lot of thanks for inviting, and we'll be in touch with you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Now we are going to end the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.